Hey there guys, CMO73 here, bringing you some more spoiler coverage for the week. Today we are talking about the Darkness Structure deck, and we finally get to see who the heck this vampire is. Obviously he seems to be working with Gil Lapis just because Ally of the Black Moon, but anyway, let's just jump right in. So we have Ally of the Black Moon's your ruler. He's got a judgment cost of 3, Energized Darkness, and he has one drop Darkness ability. It says this card deals 100 damage to target Resonator, and you put a blood counter on this card, so it like sucks them dry a little bit. Right off the bat, this feels like a counter pick to Feasting, because all of her tokens do count as Resonators, and they're only 1/1s, so he can just pay 1 and kill any, at least at the beginning, any tokens that she puts on the board, so that's interesting to note. And then we flip over into Eternal Vampire Mirage Sejuro. He's a 9/9 vampire with Imperishable and Flying, in a very similar stance to what Dracula was. Good job, guys. And then remove a blood counter from this card. Choose one. Target J/Resonator gains -1/-1. This card gains a 200 attack, or you gain 200 life, or you put a 100/100 counter on a vampire resonator. So these are lots of different options for where to spend those blood counters when he comes out. But he has to get those blood counters first, and I guess you can get a lot, right? Because you can activate and do 500 damage to something as a will sink and get 5 counters to use later. I'm just not necessarily sure really how good that is. I mean, I'd have to see what more of the stuff is, but these little 100/100 pings, and none of these effects are really that great, I don't think. I mean, he's got natural, imperishable, and flying, but like Dracula could steal creatures, and this guy can just ping stuff. I mean, you essentially shift those counters into damage onto Resonators, but Resonators can be killed, therefore wasting those counters. I mean, the 200 life, I think, is probably the most relevant of these abilities. Just be able to go like, well, I've done 1,000 damage, I've got 10, so I'm going to gain 2,000 life. It's essentially kind of like a 2-stage Vlad, and he does have Imperishable, which means that, if he gets killed, he flips back and he'll be able to do Judgment again and make use of those counters. So I guess that's okay. He just feels kind of underwhelming compared to the previous rulers we've seen so far. Now we have Shara, the third daughter of the Macaw. She is a 1-drop 5/5 that says this card cannot attack as long as there are no 100/100 counters on it. So while she's got really good stats, she can't really do anything early on. She can block, that's important to note, and she can go 3 for 3 darkness. She can deal 200 damage to something and put a counter on her card. And then she can put 2 counters on herself if your J ruler is ally. So I like the fact that she has a natural way to be able to put counters on herself. Being able to have a 1-drop 5/5 blocker, even if you're gonna ping, pump it up later, I think is relevant. So I'm actually really excited about that. I think this is a card that I would see myself using. But especially in the Worlds format, when it's going to be sealed, having a 1-drop consistent, just bam, 5/5 that doesn't hurt me, that I can use to block and to answer early on is pretty good, I think, but we'll have to see. The artwork is also really cool, so. Then we have Power Absorption. So for 2, it's a quick cast, 2 dark. This card deals 600 damage to target J/Resonator, plus an additional for each vampire you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on each vampire you control. So you could go like turn 1 this, turn 2 Power Absorption, and then ta-da, you've got suddenly a 6/6 swinging at their face on turn 2, and they probably lost their creature they played first on turn 1. So this is pretty interesting. I like that. I like that it's quick cast. And I like that it's J/Resonator. So, but Double Dark is harder to play, obviously, so we'll have to see what comes out of that. Blood of the Macaw, 1-drop chant, target J/Resonator you control gains +8/+8 and precision. At the end of your next turn, destroy it. Wow, that's crazy. Being able to have that much extra damage with precision is really huge. This is especially big with the J ruler, who has flying, so you can just guarantee yourself a kill with something, and then it'll die, and then you're back to the ruler side, but he has Imperishable, so destroying him doesn't do anything. So I think this is kind of a decent card to be able to have in the structure deck, be able to have good answers. Again, I wish he was kind of something like Dracula, where he could steal it or something like that after he deals damage, but not the case. So now we have some of the weirder cards. We have Heavenbound Pheasant, some fairy tales, weirdly enough. Darkness Fairy Tales. So it's a 2-drop 4/3 with flying. Hey! And when this card is put into a graveyard from your field, your opponent discards a card. So you can block stuff, you can swing in, and if they ever kill it, they're gonna have to lose a card. So that's not bad. I actually really like that. Then we have Faithful Hellhound, 3-cost 7/5, also a fairy tale. When this card enters your field, each player banishes a resonator. So hopefully you don't play this as your only creature, because that would be bad. But if your opponent has like one creature on board and you can get something else on board, maybe you can't target or something like that, you can just play this, and then it's like a mini soul hunt in a sense. But the effect is anyway. But the cost is pretty high for these stats. I'm not sure if I think that's valuable at all. Now I have the other super rare, Momotaro of the Sanzu River, also a fairy tale, darkness, 6/6, so 2-drop 6/6, and this card gains +3/+3 as long as you control 4 or more resonators. So it becomes a potential 2-drop 9/9 if you have a bunch of other stuff. So this naturally, I think, fits into control decks who kind of build up a force. So I think that can have some value, especially in structure deck, playing structure deck versus structure deck where there's limited removal and all kinds of stuff. But this is pretty cool. I like that a lot. Not necessarily sure how good it is on the competitive side, because 4 resonators might be tricky to keep consistent. He counts towards himself, obviously, but we'll have to see where that plays out. Now we have the Monkey Trapped in Life. So this is essentially our Rasputin replacement. So it's a 1-drop 1/1 Darkness Resonator that says when this card is put into a grave from your field, you put it back in your hand and you lose 100 life. So it always repeats itself back, and you only lose 100 life for it. I'm actually really excited about this because Rasputin, with being a 200, like you could actually put yourself in a position where you were kind of in trouble, but this way it's only 100, so there's a lot more different ways to kind of survive that way. You just got to be careful to ditch it once you need to stop losing life from your hand. Then we have the Drunken Oni, 5-drop 13/13. When this card enters your field, you search for a Castle of Oni, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So obviously big creature that searches for something, so some value from there, but it's important to see what castle does. And here it is. So it's a 3-cost, it just says Darkness J/resonators you control gain 200/200, and you can banish this card to put target card from your graveyard into your hand. So you can get a little field pump, and you can kind of recycle stuff. So that's not terrible. I'm not super thrilled by the cost being so high and the fact that you just tap and banish. I wish this was like tap, pay a cost to be able to recycle stuff, but it can hit any card you want. I guess that kind of makes up for it. It just feels like a lot to be able to get that one time, bring a card back. I'd be fine if it was like tap, pay 2 black, put target card, but that's just me. Now we have Oni Strike, 3-drop quick cast, destroy target resonator. If you control an Oni, this card deals 500 damage. So we have our new kind of like stoning to death. It's a 3-cost this time, but it has the extra ability of if you have the Oni out there, it's also a thunder. So that's pretty neat. And then we have just the basic Darkness Magic Stone. It looks like some kind of like dark ring with an eyeball. That's pretty creepy, but I think the artwork's cool. But that's all we have for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I'm a little underwhelmed by this structure deck, considering for play for Worlds. But I think that there are definitely some cards here that could see some play in different kinds of styles. If you're playing like Dark Aggro or Dark Control or some variant, definitely could see some things. Ally of the Black Moon kind of feels more like a sideboard ruler in my opinion, but again, we haven't actually gotten to sit down and test with any of the cards yet. But let me know what you guys think. Go ahead and like and comment and share the video, and until next time, this is DMO73 signing off.